I created and followed a strict training program which helped me break my personal best timing, and I was ranked 10th and 3rd Singaporean in my age group over the last weekend's Hyrox Men's Open race. In addition, I also raced in the doubles Men's Open race the following day and emerged as the 12th in my age group and the 5th Singaporean pair to cross the line. So today I will share some tips and reflection on how I did, and in the following video I will also share how I helped my friend achieve his personal best in our doubles race. Last weekend, Singapore held the second Hyrox of the year, attracting locals and athletes from around the region for this great sporting event. The atmosphere was great and the event was well organized, with prominent signages and adequate security and ushers. Although the expo was not as central in terms of location, it was still near the airport and very well connected by public transport, making it easily accessible for everyone. There were also hotels, shopping malls and eateries nearby, so foreigners and locals could have plenty of lodging and food and beverage options. The expo also seemed to have cleaner and drier toilets, and the entire venue, including the washroom, was fully air-conditioned, compared to National Stadium, which was great for people who are afraid of the heat. The only downside comparing Expo and National Stadium is the size of the venue and seating for the general public. The National Stadium is bigger, there was ample running track space, more seats and holding areas for spectators. So comparing the spectator crossing, the crossing at Expo was more chaotic due to the lack of space at the venue. So on the first day, spectators were to wait for the golden opportunity to dash across to the other side. But kudos to the planning committee, some alterations were made on the second day, with the Hyrox organizer applying what they did at National Stadium, moving the runners into different lanes and creating a holding pen for spectators to cross safely. However, as competitor myself, we must constantly be looking out for lane changes, and because of the diverted lanes, the lanes will become narrower, leading to bottlenecks, and faster runners inevitably had to push through the crowded run lanes. So these are all about the pros and cons of both venues, and hearsay, there will be 2 races again next year, one held in Singapore Expo, the other one in the National Stadium. So take your pick and train hard. So now I shall dive into my reflection. Let's talk about pre-race. Knowing that I will be entering 2 days of intense work, I tapered adequately through the week, working out at still high intensity but with decreased volume. I also included sports massage and followed a proper nutrition plan leading up to Saturday. I bought beef sirloin with less fat and had lots of rice and pasta 2 days prior. I also brought bread and a new tray of eggs because I know this gave me energy without causing stomach upset. It was also because I have tried and tested it enough to know how well I would digest the meal before the race. I was also very serious about my hydration, taking ample electrolytes the day before and on the actual day. I also followed my nutrition plan to the T at the race site. I only arrived 1 hour earlier before the race and set alarm to consume my pre-workout and gel. Simply put, I had a plan and I followed through. Like previous race, I tabulated my overall timing and studied it carefully in my Excel spreadsheet, noting the improvements and areas for improvement. I also benchmarked myself against the champions to know what to work on and noted my next targeted completion time. In my most recent Solo Men's Open race, I shaved off nearly 4 minutes from June's and achieved a personal best of 1 hour and 9 minutes. The faster timing might also be due to because Expo was a quicker course with a shorter rock zone. Nonetheless, after some comparison from my previous race, I improved my runs and some stations, specifically my sled, push and pull, farmer's carry, lunges, and wall balls. So instead of going through all the stations like my previous reflection, I will pay more attention to what I think I did right, which led to time improvements. Now I managed to run quicker for the recent race, feeling less tired and my legs were moving at my usual cadence instead of feeling like I was running on muddy water. So I would like to credit this to my weekly compromised run training. I kept things very simple and usually only focus on 4 Hyrox stations when performing compromised runs. I try to stick to my desired race pace while training, which translated well into my race. I also included more days of running with at least 2 easy run days and an interval run day to boost my VO2 max. I also started my training block with long runs to build a good endurance base. Then if I continue this form of training, increasing my run pace and increasing the compromised run training distance, I think I should stand a very good chance and should be able to improve much further. After June's race, I realized I lacked the strength to move the sleds efficiently or as fast as I wanted to. So instead of training aimlessly, I programmed strength days in my week, focusing on low, heavy reps and high intensity resistance training for 8 weeks. I also included power strength days, paying attention to the concentric phase of movement. So power is excellent for both runs and sleds, wobbles and lunges. I gained muscle mass and lost fat in the process, so my weight remained the same on the scale. So I was thinking in the next phase, I plan to gain mass and shift my training towards more of a strength endurance base, so my weight to sled ratio is more balanced and perhaps I can move the sled a little faster. So still on the topic of sleds, I've also adopted a slightly different technique for my pull, so which allowed me to gain more traction as I had better rope management. So I tilt my body to the side. Then after I start tugging the rope before I start moving back. Though I did not really improve the timing, my overall ranking went up based on the studies from high results. So overall, I felt faster and this technique also helped me feel more confident leading into the next run. So comparing, I actually ran better than the one in June. In terms of farmer's carry, it's still my greatest nemesis. What looked like an easy 200 meters always drains the life out of me. I always tell myself to walk a jog for 200 meters without stopping, but lo and behold, I always have to rest at least once. So this is the station I really have to pay more attention to work both mentally and physically. And I plan and I aim to cut at least 30 seconds away. Then lunges are by far one of the stations I train the most. I lift heavier weights and perform sessions after sessions of compromised runs into lunges into runs. And it finally showed improvements. I also concluded that slamming my knees on the ground instead of controlling my way down and slowly picking myself up was more efficient. I'm glad my knees are still holding up so far. I'm not asking you to do the same method as me, but you can try it and see how it feels. So everything was going well during the race until I felt cramps creeping in on my quads. It was only then I was forced to change my lunge pace. I kept my head down and repeated to myself at least 2 steps at a time until the finish line. I made it in the end. Last but not least, wall balls. I always run into the station hoping my body will allow me to toss the ball 100 times unbroken, but truth always sets in when I'm in my 40th rep. I try to suppress the muscle fatigue and mentally squeeze another couple of reps before I really had to drop the ball down to finally catch my breath. The only way to improve this station, in my opinion, is to strengthen my mind and body, completing higher reps with moderate to heavy resistance training and incorporate more wall balls interval into my Hyrox conditioning training. And hopefully one day I will be able to achieve 100 unbroken before the race. Now overall, I'm pleased with my results, but am not satisfied yet. So the work will continue and I might try another category for my next race. Maybe pros or maybe just back to opens. Let's see what happens. So this is all for my 2024 Men's Open Reflection. If you want to learn more tips and tricks, I've actually shared several other videos on techniques that I use during the different stations to help me save my legs and get better race timing each time. So also, if you find my content helpful, please help me like, share and subscribe to my channel so like-minded athletes like you can benefit and learn and race better and stronger. Till next time, cheers and bye-bye.